Hello everyone. Today is Suicide Prevention Day. So that's September 10th. I'm going to tell my story. And I'll probably cry because I don't dive into this too often, but I think it needs to be done and it needs to be shared because things need to change. And I have a better understanding of things now than I did back in 2005. But on August 14th, 2005, my world crashed. I'll never forget that day. I was sitting on the back deck with my kids, having popsicles. It was in the afternoon, maybe 4-ish. And I got a phone call. And it was my stepdad telling me that my brother was gone. And I didn't understand at first. I'm going, what do you mean gone? He moved out? Like, I was so confused. And he then said, no, Sue, he's gone. He took his life. And my heart, you can't even imagine, unless you've been through this, how hard that was. And then I had a million questions. And so what had happened is that morning, my stepdad was in town. He just got in the night before. He heard my brother rummaging around. He heard him go to the bathroom and stuff. And then my stepdad didn't think anything of it. Like, no big deal. Normal day. It was a Sunday. And so my stepdad went down to take the garbage out. They live in a condo building in Southern Ontario. And he was taking the garbage down. And he saw a bunch of fire trucks and ambulance and all this stuff around the pool area, kind of like there's a solarium pool area. And he looked up and something in his gut, he just knew. He saw that my brother's window was open and he realized that that was my brother laying on the ground. What happened was a lady in the pool happened to see his body laying beside the pool area. I'm not sure if she saw him jump or whatever. But yeah, so he jumped from the 17th floor from his bedroom window. And then, so my head is now spiraling. I'm like, got my mom's out of town. I'm worried about her. I'm worried about my dad. I'm worried about my kids. My kids were, 2, 3, and 5, I think at the time. So or 2, 3, and 6. No, actually, and it doesn't matter. They were really, really young. So my head's spiraling. My dad just had surgery. He was in town. My stepmom and my stepsister were out of camp. I guess my stepdad had been trying to get a hold of me for a couple hours, but I was outside with the kids, and that was pre-cell phones. So I didn't get the phone, and we were at parks. We were doing whatever. And so I felt guilty about that because he wanted me to go tell my dad. He ended up having to call my dad and tell him. And then I'm worrying about my mom, and I'm like, oh my God, my mom. She's flying in from some Relay for Life conference or a relay itself. And so my stepdad got my cousin Linda, or my best friend Ali, girlfriend, worked at the airport. So she organized a private room. Allie and Sam went to my parents' apartment or condo, and my stepdad and Linda and Ward went and met my mom at the airport. I can just imagine the shock of seeing everybody there and then having to tell her. And I was worried about her because, God, that's her son. Worried about my dad who just had surgery. So we went over, me and my ex at the time went over and sat with my dad while my stepmom and my stepsister came back into town from camp. Then I had to go tell my grandparents. And God, that was tough. That was so tough. A little bit of backstory. I had already lost one sibling, so my parents have already lost one sibling, and now they've lost a second one. And as a parent, that just freaking breaks your heart. It's just, and trying to understand, and I'm trying to move through this, and my mom's staying in town. We have funeral arrangements. I try to look after my mom, look after my kids, look after myself. No time to grieve. Organizing everything. And so I took 2 weeks off work, not enough, but I ran a daycare in my home, and I was thinking about, oh my God, these poor kids, it was back to school. We need to get things organized. My daughter was starting JK. You know, like it's just, it was just ultimate mayhem. And then, like, I'm barely hanging on. And my ex-husband says, Sue, I think it's time you got over it. And I'm like, oh my God, my brother just died. His family made jokes at dinner. It was absolutely awful. It was an awful time. I went for counseling. My one counselor, the first counselor I went and saw, she basically said, what do you mean he didn't leave a note? How come he didn't leave a note? And I'm like, I have no freaking clue. Like, I can't ask him. That was my first experience with counseling. Awful, awful, awful. It's like she made me feel, what, no one saw signs, no one saw anything. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm the one in counseling. And then, so I did do group therapy, but I had to get my own sitters because my husband didn't approve. My husband at the time did not approve of any of this. It was just absolutely awful. But anyways, so it being Suicide Preventive Day, I know I kind of rambled, and there's so much. Like, I had all these thoughts in my head, but it never comes out how I want it to come out. And I did, like, I knew he suffered with mental health. I gotta say, I have a lot of guilt over it because I feel I didn't do what I needed to do as a mom, as a sister. You know, like, I should have been more support. I thought he was lazy. I thought all these things that now I'm like, holy fuck, Sue, you are a bitch. And it's not easy for me to, now I'm better educated, I better understanding. And that's, you know, that's why I'm always like, we all carry stuff. We're all going through stuff. And that's why at the end of all my things, I said, smile, be kind, and spread your sparkle. Because you have no clue what somebody's going through. You have no clue what that smile or you being kind might do for somebody. Whether they acknowledge it or not, or maybe it's a post on Facebook that, yeah, they may not comment or like or whatever, but you've done something for them. We need to be more compassionate and more understanding what people are going through. The world is not an easy place. And if you don't have supports in place, it's even harder. And that's why I swear mental health should be part of your yearly checkup. It shouldn't cost $1 million. Everybody should have access to it. It shouldn't be long waiting lists. It should be like going to the dentist, going to the doctor. It should be part of a normal system. It doesn't matter. If you're not dealing with something, great. But the thing is, you know what? You need a checkup. You need to make sure, you know, and my heart just breaks for anybody who has to go through this. Because even all these years later, it still hurts. And you never get through it. I just think of everything my brother's missed. He's missed my kids grow up. He's going to miss weddings. He's going to miss, you know. And my kids adored their uncle. They absolutely adored him. And it's not easy. So please try to educate yourself. Please be better understanding that the people aren't perfect. We all have our troubles. And if you need help, please reach out. I know it's simple for me to say there's only 24 hours in a day, but when you're going through something that dark, 24 hours is a long time. So if you got dressed, that's great. You know, celebrate those little small moments. If you showered, even better. I know there's a lot of days I push myself through, but I'm not in that deep, dark hole. And I think that deep, dark hole is really, really hard and really, really tough. And I just want to say I'm here for every single one of you. You'll always have me in your corner. So whatever you're doing today, please take this as a reminder. You don't know what someone's going through at that moment. So smile, be kind, and spread your sparkle.